Hello, critics, non-critics, and friends. Welcome to the Film Optix podcast, where we take a glance into comic book movies, blockbusters, indie films, and everything in between. Ugh, I cannot speak today, y'all. I do apologize. It's early in the morning. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm joined again by my co-host, Devin. And today we're going to be giving our insights on one of the latest films that hit the theaters this past weekend, or this weekend, as of February 6th, and that is Jackass Forever. Man, oh man, when was the last time we got a Jackass movie?
10 years ago.
10 years.
They talked about it in the movie.
Yeah, that's right. They did. Man, oh man. I feel like it's been longer than 10 years. I'm not going to lie. It's been, what, there's been three previously, or is this the four? Well, because like they didn't say
forever.
Well, yeah, but we also had Bad Boys for Life, and I was
what
like,
a waste.
Such a waste. So anytime someone puts like 4 in like their title when it comes to that stuff, like I don't believe that, you know, like when they say forever, I'm like, is it really the fourth, or is it just, you know, the final one? Because, you know, the fifth, it could have been the fifth forever. There you go. But, you know, I see what you mean. The nice little play on words there, which is always welcome. But a little bit of housekeeping here for everyone today. Before we get into today's episode, you can listen to our podcast on platforms around the internet. And if you are a new or seasoned listener to the show, we would love to hear from you guys. Show us some love and leave us a 5-star rating and review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X. Or you can email us at filmoptix@gmail.com for any movie-related questions. Devin, how's your weekend been, man?
Well, it got snowed in Thursday. I was actually going to see it Thursday, but the theater actually closed because there was so much snow.
So I was going to go see the movie Belle, and I think I talked about this on the podcast before, where it was a light dusting here in Nashville. I was like, yeah, the theaters should be open. Nope. It was weird because it let me pre-order a ticket or reserve my seat through the AMC app. And then I was like, oh, it didn't do any of that. Like, it let me check my seat. I was like, oh, wow, you know, it's only like maybe 3 people going to be there. I walked straight up to AMC and I I pulled on the door and they were locked. And then there was a small little sign that you could barely see. It's like, yeah, closed due to weather. And I was like, well, okay, I can't be too mad about that. But
12 centimeters of snow.
We literally get like a light dusting and everything just shuts down here, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, man, it's been a nice little weekend. You know, we get Super Bowl weekend next weekend. I'm kind of pulling for the Bengals. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
it's hard, but it's hard. It's impossible not to like Joey Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, look, what he's like 24, 25 years old. Came from LSU. He's a trooper for sure.
He's an Athens boy too.
He is an Athens boy for sure. I mean, I'm very I'm rooting for the Bengals, and like, you know, like we are Steelers fans here on the show, but it's really, I think it's because they're a part of our division. Like, I do like our division so much that I feel like we are the best division in the entire league when it comes to rivalries. Like, I honestly think like every time that we just have a blast when it comes to our division, because there's everyone has a connection of not liking the other team for some weird reason or another. But yeah, AFC North, what are you gonna do? But yeah, I guess I'll be rooting for the Bengals. A lot of my friends here in town are Bengals fans, so there's a lot of people from Ohio who live here in Music City. So it's hey, you know, we just couldn't wait to leave. I don't blame them. But yeah, as I said before, to all listeners out there, we're going to be reviewing Jackass Forever. Just a full disclosure for anyone listening, I'm not sure if we have any of our younger audience who is listening. Yeah, like it's clearly, you know, we're going to get into initial reactions and whatnot, then get into spoilers down the line. But this review probably isn't for the faint of heart. And I actually think this one is probably going to go up as an explicit episode specifically, just because it's I mean, you know, the movie's not super long, but it's a very raunchy, it's a very raunchy ride. There you go.
From the first minute.
literally from the first literally from the first minute. Man, oh man. But let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with our Jackass Forever review right after this short break.
Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass. 3, 2, 1.
A lot of people ask, what will Jackass be like once we're older? Well, it'll get more mature.
The faster you pedal your bike, the faster the other guy's hand goes back.
You said it wasn't gonna feel like anything.
Concussions aren't great, but as long as you have them before you're 50, it's cool. And Knoxville's 49, so we're good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our Jackass Forever review. You just heard a little snippet of it, the trailer provided by Paramount Plus. You know, getting that nice little free coverage. Gotta love the trailers there. As many times as we've seen this trailer, I have a few small issues with the movie, but I'm actually going to pass it up to Devin so he can give the movie info this time. We're gonna switch it up this time, mainly because I'm very tired and I do not feel like pronouncing anyone's name today.
well, this was an easy one. After 11 years, the Jackass crew is back for their final crusade. Oh, it's interesting that it says final.
Yeah.
I imagine it is pretty difficult to make these. So, and how old is Johnny Knoxville? Like
40?
60?
Oh no, yeah, he said he's like 60 something. So, but I don't know. I mean,
born in 71, so he's.
Yeah, he's at least
50.
He's okay. I was
51.
51. Yeah, for sure. But
directed by Jeff Tremaine as always. Written by Wee Man, Eric André, Derrick Beckles. Starring Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, Chris Pontius, Eric Andre, all your favorites. They're all here.
Yeah, no man. I didn't know Eric Andre was actually I think he's a producer on this one. I believe so. I think so, from what I saw from the credits. But yeah, man, this this movie. I guess I'll give my initial reactions first. It's been a while since we've been able just to go to a theater and just relax and have a laugh. You're a
lot of laughs.
A lot of laughs. And it's my entire theater. I went to go see it on a Saturday, like mid Saturday afternoon around like 3:00. And it was a decent amount of people there, maybe about 20 to 30 people. And there was this kid next to me. His dad took him. And like literally from the moment that it started, this kid could not stop laughing like whatsoever. Like it was so great to see because, watching the other 3 Jackass movies, and I believe they also had a TV show, didn't they? At some point?
Yeah, that's how it all started.
Yeah, that's how it all started. Yeah. Like I said, God, it's been forever. No pun intended. But it was really great to see like a younger audience enjoying Jackass. Like we said, it's been about 10 years, much like with the Scream franchise when we reviewed the new Scream movie, which is up on the podcast now. You can go check that out. It's been about 10, 11 years since we've got another Scream movie. And I believe
that's actually an interesting comparison because this movie does a good job of having the legacy, I guess they're not characters, but legacy Jackasses back and then bringing in some fresh new Jackass blood with some new people.
Yeah.
They did a good job of combining those two, just like Scream did.
Yeah. I mean, I really just enjoyed how, like, as you mentioned, like the younger and the older audience, or everyone's going to go see Jackass Forever. And it's like, it's just it's one of those movies where you can just turn it on. It's kind of like a bunch of crazy YouTube video clips just stitched into one movie. And like, obviously with high quality production. I mean, right now, the Rotten Tomatoes for critics is sitting around like an 85%. And then for the audience score, it's a 93%, which
that's actually surprising for critics, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, some critics just want, I think critics, I don't know, I'm getting my words all twisted up. For me, as long, like, when I go see a movie, obviously, you go for storytelling, for characters, and what have you, the underlying themes and, the beautiful cinematography. But obviously there's no like beautiful cinematography here, but it's just pure entertainment.
So the first Jackass got a 49% critic. Second jumped up to 64. And then where's the third?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of my critic friends, at least for the most part, did enjoy it, but because it's just dumb, stupid fun.
And Jackass 3 was a 66, so another bit of a jump there.
See, it's been a while since I've seen the other ones, and I wanted to.
There was a Jackass 3.5.
That's I was gonna say. I knew there was at least more than 3 movies that were out. I
got a 60.
I thought there was a Jackass 2.5 as well, but maybe those are like director's cuts or something. I don't know, of like the same movie. But
yeah, there also is a 2.5.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say they've been doing this for a very, very long time. But as I was saying from my original point, it's just really nice to see a younger audience enjoy this. I mean, the kid had to be, he was probably like maybe 13, 14 years old. I'm not entirely sure, but he
maybe a little bit young, but
yeah,
he'll learn.
I mean, when I was that age, I mean, I can't remember what friend's house I started watching it at, but I think I was around that same age. I mean, he was there with his dad, and everyone in my theater was just having a ball. How was it on your end?
Oh, it was great. Just constant laughing and just like
cringing,
pointing out different cameos, and just everyone's just kind of enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
And I mean, what more can be said about Jackass? Like when you talk about peak cinema, when Martin Scorsese and Roland Emmerich are complaining about their movies doing terribly and all these MCU and Star Wars movies taking over, this is what they want. They want Jackass. This, can we say Jackass for the Oscars?
Jackass for
the
Best
Picture.
Honestly,
can we get that train rolling?
I would not be opposed. It's perfect because I mean the runtime's not super long. It's an hour and 36 minutes. You're getting pure entertainment and a wild rush of just
and they go for it. Like they're all in. This is dedication because they're causing themselves so much bodily harm.
It's crazy because I mean I don't know. It's insane to think that they've done this for so long, and I mean clearly when they're on set, you kind of get like a bird's eye view of everything that's going on with this movie. It, like I said, it does feel like a lot of like best of Jackass clips clipped together. When it comes to the trailer, obviously there's a lot of stuff that we see from the trailer because we go to the movie so much. And for whatever reason,
they only showed a couple of them in the trailer. Like the MGK one was the main one, so that wasn't seen before. But
right, yeah, and that's what I like about it so much. It was nice that it's a comedy, obviously, and what comedies usually suffer from what I've noticed, is that they always show like the funny bits or the funny clips in the trailer, and then there's nothing left for the movie. It's like, oh yeah, I saw that in the trailer, whatever. But I really think they did a great job. Paramount Pictures did a really good job of hiding honestly the best parts of this movie. I feel like we got the smaller clips because there are bits that they do that are a little bit longer. I feel like we got either smaller clips of that or just there are some where it's just like a random flyby, like when it's kind of like a college campus from the trailer, and there's like a ramp, and the guy just like rams straight into it, like during the beginning of the trailer. Like that's all that is.
Like very quick hit clips that
right.
Entertaining.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about it. And I mean, man, just from the beginning, you're laughing, you're smiling, you're crying, but you're also cringing at some points as well. And I mean, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that, like you said, Devin, they're doing so much bodily harm to each other that it's. I mean, there's like. We'll get into it, but there was a few things I almost kind of had to look away for like a hot second because I was like, dude, that is, like you can feel it in your bones. It's as if it's happening to you, and that's what I love about it. It's like these, they're just a bunch of crazy guys, just clearly lifelong friends, kind of just having a good time. And man, Steve-O, his voice is definitely hit the bricks there for a while. He talks like this. I'm like, man, oh man, like still got those $1 million teeth though.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted to pass it over to you, Devin. I do apologize for hogging the mic. What were your initial reactions overall?
Yeah, I think it was just a great time, just constant laughing. A couple of like pretty unique skits, I guess you can call them. Pretty well made. There were definitely a few highlights. A lot of they do things with body parts that I didn't know were physically possible in this movie. Like the part with the plastic contraption that flattened something out. I didn't know that was physically possible.
I didn't know that was possible. That was one of between that and the bodily harm of a certain area of where they test multiple times. The cup check was
cup test.
Yeah,
cup check.
that. Oh my gosh, dude!
His name's Aaron, I think. He went through the most, I would say, in this movie. He had the most
he
pain.
did. I definitely think he did.
Just based on the cup check alone.
Yeah. The cup check, and then I think and we'll get into it with spoilers, but I have to say my favorite scene of the movie definitely happens towards the beginning, and then the finale one was pretty awesome too. That was just pure chaos. But like I said, there was a lot of animal bits in this movie as well. Which is
the part with Steve-O and the bees. Oh my god! How
the Steve-O and the bees?
How does he do it?
And it was oh man! And I mean, really quick. I mean, because I feel like we're kind of getting into spoilers, but that is your first spoiler warning for here on the podcast. Again, that's your second spoiler warning. I do apologize. We kind of it's hard not to talk about this, especially this kind of movie, because there really is no plot. Like we said, it's just a string of bits that they kind of put together. And I think it was very well paced. Again, the runtime was about an hour and 30 minutes. And like, that's all I really needed. Outside of, I really need AMC to like get rid of 30-minute previews. And then if I see Nicole Kidman on screen one more time, it's like,
I got to the theater like 20 minutes after my showtime, and I was like, all right, I shouldn't have to sit through that many more previews. It just keeps going.
Does she still pop up?
30 minutes is so much.
It really is. And like they always cap it off with Nicole Kidman. And I understand, I get it, but I guess it's different for us. Like, like I said before, we are avid moviegoers. We're going to the theater at least once a week. So it's like we're bound to. Nicole Kidman is just in our life, and that's all there is to it.
I want to see some Jackass clips up there next time when she's talking about the magic in the theaters.
I wish we could. Yeah, just give us like 10 minutes of like previews of just like random Jackass clips. We'll be good. Like just pull them from different movies from the show. Like I don't need to see. Well, there's a few trailers I was kind of excited for, but because there's like the previews. And then you get to the previews, the 30-minute previews. Yeah, they have like the front and center stuff. And like I'm a punctual person, so it's like, all right, I try to wait at least 30 minutes after, but I'm like, I might as well just get there now. And I'm like, I'm just on my phone until the movie pretty much starts, because it's like you're literally sitting there for like 45 minutes to an hour waiting for the movie to start. So I really wish that AMC would kind of get that over. I gotta say, that's why I love going to like critic screenings. You're in, you're out. That's it. It's amazing. Like when I went to go see Eternals, I was like, oh my God, I don't have to sit through. It's just going to start. Devin. It was so magical. And unfortunately I wasn't able to see this one a little bit earlier. I had some personal business to take care of, but I actually want to talk about, let's talk about our favorite scenes here, but I think my favorite one is when they have like the rattlesnake and they kind of bring them all into the rooms.
Yeah,
and they
that's
shut
my
the
favorite
light
one too.
That was, oh my gosh. I like, I was surprised.
That was good enough, but then they had the second room with all the pans hanging up on the wall and the mouse traps like it's Home Alone. That's definitely where I laughed the most.
They literally they pulled a bait and switch. They're like, oh, this is like a super poisonous like rattlesnake. They had two bends and they just completely shut off the lights. You get the night vision look into the room, with nice little green the green tent and whatnot. And it's just pure chaos. And I love Johnny Knoxville messes with his crew so much. Like, oh my God, it was hilarious. Even with the tasering was probably when I felt like I almost peed my pants.
Taser.
Because and not only that, like they had like a recording of the rattlesnake and they're like, oh my God. And then it just unfolds into utter chaos. And if you don't have a funny bone in your body, like if you do not laugh during that scene.
When he ran into the pan the first time, I was just gone.
It was hilarious, but that was my favorites. I really enjoyed how they kind of started off with that outside of the the penis T-Rex Godzilla type thing. That was whew. But with the other animals as well, they had. I mean, we talked about Steve-O and the queen bee. That was I couldn't not look away because like I said, there are like cringy moments like with the cup test, like with the pogo stick. That's when I had to look away. That was the only time I was like, that's
insanity.
That is literally. I mean, they first, he did the cup test with the MMA, with the quote unquote lightweight MMA fighter.
Yeah,
he's like, that's not
in the world.
He's like, that's not a fucking lightweight. Like, what? That was crazy. And
I think my favorite out of those was actually the hockey one because the hockey player was so into it. He was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna destroy your balls."
Yeah, he's like, "You're going down." He's like,
and he hit it like. He hit the first one. It was a perfect shot to his face. Then the second one was just a perfect. Like he's. I didn't know hockey players were that good.
Oh
like,
yeah, it's
perfect.
It's and like it.
Perfect aim.
It's like there's no holds barred, and he kept moving away. Like especially with the softball player. Like it took her a few times. Like she was accurate,
and you can see how excited she got when she finally hit it.
Yeah, because you kind of see a little bit of that in the trailer as well. But I was like, ooh, that's gotta hurt. And then with the MMA fighter, when he punched it, he's like, I think I heard a crack. I'm like, this is so bad. So with the MMA fighter, then the hockey stick, I agree with you, Devin. I think Aaron got it the worst, especially with the bear.
And he was the one, he got trapped and put honey and salmon all over him when a bear came in. Like that's not physical torture. That's emotional torture there because he had to go through that.
Like I mean, we've had snakes. There were spiders.
There was a freaking vulture.
Yeah. Oh,
I've never seen a vulture like that. Like I didn't know what they were like in real life. The thing was creepy.
I can't say that I've necessarily seen I've never seen a vulture like in person, but just even on screen, like you don't really see them too often.
They're
massive.
They're freaks,
massive creatures, and that was oof. And then we have the tarantulas as well, and
always
the scorpion as well.
Was it Aaron that got the tarantula bite too?
I believe so. Yeah, because it was him.
He had the most by a lot.
And what was it? Dark Shark, the black kid's father.
Yeah.
The ex-convict. I felt so bad for him because he was not having it like whatsoever. Like when they put like the tube on them and they're trying to push the tarantula either way. And even though the tarantula got into Dark Shark's like tank area, he was like,
I thought he was gonna pass out.
I thought he was going to like punch someone or something, just like out of like pure like trauma or something like that. But that was insane. But I really just like how, like, I guess you can't really talk about this as like a story type thing. It's just a lot of great moments. It's kind of like, if you clip together like the best like SpongeBob clips together and just had a good time like watching them on YouTube. But it's just high quality stuff. And, what else kind of animals that hit the bull as well. We already talked about the vulture, the bear, the snakes.
That bull, I thought Johnny was dead. Like he was just laying there lifeless.
No, I seriously thought I thought he was dead, but like they never reported anything, you know, because since they were filming the movie prior, and he was just, I seriously thought he was dead. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy as they do with all these stunts. It is nice to know, and actually kind of nice to show with the audience that, like, you know, they're not just out in the middle of some field without any supervision whatsoever. It's like, obviously, you know, I mean, Paramount knows what they're doing. You know, this is underneath their film archive, and it's a crazy time. Like, I mean, I think a few of them, like, I will say a few of the bits, like, I mean, were cool. It's just like we said, they were kind of just like one-offs, and then they kind of just moved on to the next thing. I definitely think the movie shines where they have multiple people, you know, with with Wee Man, and they were trying to get Wee Man to hold up. I do apologize. There's so many people in this movie. It's kind of a bigger guy, and he ended up pooping his pants.
Preston. He was like, I just shit my pants. I didn't mean to.
He's like, I'm 55 years old and I just shit my pants.
It wasn't even a part of the bit. It was just random.
It just happened. It literally just happened. The scorpion.
I love the clips of the camera guys just like trying not to just throw up, just freaking out.
Twice. I think he did at least 2 or 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. And he had his mask on, his like M1 mask.
Can I get a new mask?
Like, is he throwing up in his mask? Because he threw up during when Preston pooped himself. And when I think it was after the final cup test with the pogo stick.
Yeah.
That like I said, that was the only time I had to look away. I truthfully couldn't. And I saw the aftermath. I'm like, that is just like, I felt like that. I mean, I felt like it was happening to me. It's really like, I really don't know how they do it, but I do appreciate how they're, you know, showing how, you know, paramedics and whatnot are always on standby, which definitely helps out, because it's like, you know, if you have to call the paramedics after, you know, it's kind of crazy. But I wanted to pass it back over to you, man. Was there anything else you wanted to cover? I know we kind of just been going back and forth talking about the greatest clips, but definitely want to talk about the final one once here in a bit. But I'll pass it back over to you.
Yeah, I feel like obviously the ones that they show in the trailers don't have as much entertainment value after seeing them in trailers, but I did like the coffee truck one, even when they showed that in the trailer. I love the last one where he gets it in the face and then he goes back, and then it's a lower one that comes out. Yeah. That one was really good.
That was great. I mean, would you do any of these stunts? Like, any of them?
I feel like it would be kind of fun.
Like, probably
mess around for a day and just do crazy stuff.
Well, like it's like I said, Johnny Knoxville was like, I think this is the most vicious I've seen him, just messing with everybody. Like, he was just randomly tasing people who weren't even a part of the bit. The mime part was pretty good.
The mime part was good.
Steve-O with the band.
He was like, I forgot I couldn't say anything.
The skateboard guillotine.
That looks pretty famous. Right on the shin too.
Right.
Like, that's gotta hurt.
Woo, man. And like he immediately broke silence. That was great. I think Steve-O's definitely still one of my favorite of the cast.
Has to be.
Yeah, for sure. He's just a good time, for sure. But man, oh man, it's there's unfortunately there isn't too much to like really dig in with this episode, or just this movie. Like we said, it's only around an hour and 36 minutes, probably around an hour and 30. That's probably including all the credits. Did you stay for like the bloopers and stuff afterwards?
Yeah.
I did for a bit, and then I had to pee, so I had to leave. Well, like I left and I was like, well, I'm like, I could go back. I'm like, that's just too weird. So I just left. I'm like, the movie's over. It's all good. But I really think this was, I guess we'll just kind of get into the final thought. Oh no, sorry. Really quick. I wanted to talk about the finale bit that they did, because that was insane. They had to like, it was Steve-O, and 3 others. And like I said, there's just so many people here. And honestly, like you say, this is the old with the new. It's just so. I think Chris Pontius is probably one of my favorites as well.
He's always the MVP, underrated.
Yeah, for sure. And then I mean, Wee Man's fantastic. I mean, when he got the wedgie, was it's like a little floating angel, little baby.
Speaking of Chris Pontius, the lights out part where he's just in the corner with his pants, with his legs tucked in, he's just standing there smiling.
I could watch that lights out like rattlesnake bit all day long, because
So good.
like some people don't realize they literally cannot see what's going on. Like obviously, you know, you're seeing it through a night vision goggles, but like it's pitch black in a basement, no windows, nothing. And talk about a psychological like mind twist. It was pretty crazy. But definitely, I think that my second favorite outside of the cup challenge was definitely the finale was hilarious. That was just
Painful paintballs.
painful. Okay, and Steve-O, you know, he chugs all of his milk, or at least half his milk before he gets on the ride.
Are we sure that was milk? Because it could have been the pig liquid. And I think that's great how they framed it like that intro, because then when you got throughout the movie, then you realize, oh wait, that might be all pig liquid in there.
Yeah, there's I think the running theme of this movie was pig cum. I really think it was.
There was a lot,
and they just drank it. I mean, I think Chris drank some, and it's just like, oh,
they were like, you didn't even have to do that.
Yeah, and it's just like they've had, you know, the horse semen before, and that. It's kind of like their new normal for sure. But yeah, actually, really quick before we get out of it, what bit would you do out of all of these? I think I would probably do. Well, I'll let you go first, because I'm getting ahead of myself.
I don't know if I could do anything with bugs. I think that's off the table.
Absolutely not. Mm-mm.
I mean,
it would have to be like.
The thing MGK did looked pretty simple.
Yeah, that's
the coffee one, obviously.
Yeah, probably those two. I wouldn't do the marching band thing, because that was like pretty insane.
That's a little more. I thought Johnny Knoxville might be dead.
Man, that bull literally like came charging at him. Like, I mean,
and they did a side by side with the original Jackass.
Yeah, that was. I seriously thought he was dead. I was like, that is absolutely not. But like his hair kept changing back and forth, like going from like the James Gunn like silver haired fox type look to his his dyed brown hair was pretty funny too. But yeah, I mean, you know, we've been talking about this here for a while. I think it's about time to wrap up. You know, unfortunately, there isn't too much, you know, to really talk about. More just reminiscing about like how much of a great movie this is, and you know, no matter if you're a critic, non-critic, if you're just looking for a good time, to go to the movies, you know, go out with your significant other, or like, you know, if you have, you know, like an older brother, or older sister who was a fan of the original, like I really think this was a nice send off. For the entire cast.
If you enjoy laughing at things that make teenage boys laugh, then you are good to go.
This literally is just like adolescent, like stupid humor. It's like as if they never left high school type situation. I mean, it's really
it works. It works.
It's just a bunch of guys, you know, not even just a bunch of dudes, but you know, because there were some bits with a few female jackasses in there as well, just having a ball, you know, and it's just something that, you know, they've kind of built this legacy. And dude, I don't know how any of them are still alive.
Especially Johnny.
Especially
He's
Johnny.
50.
Yeah. Like, I mean, God knows how many concussions they've all had from like just any of this. And all the animal bits were definitely like just some of the best. But that vulture, like they brought that thing in. I was like, absolutely not. That was woo. And they tucked in like the meat inside of like Weave Man's like tidy whities too. I was like, no. Oh man. But you know, they have to know when to stop. And I think this is a nice send-off for the entire crew, and kind of just, you know, for all the Jackass fans out there, you know, this, like I said before, it's just a movie where you can just turn off your brain. Not even like action movie, turn off your brain. Just have a laugh. You know, like if you're having a bad day or something, like everyone always watches like those Real Housewives of like Atlanta shows, and you know, we watched Tiger King where everyone's life was just, you know, on the brink of destruction and unfolding in crazy, insane ways. And this is just a bunch of, you know, dudes have known each other, you know, their entire lives. Just there's nothing more like saying I love you than, you know, trapping a bunch of like penises on, like bees on your friend's penis or whatever. But
They kept going. They just kept flocking.
That was, man, oh man. But yeah, let's get into the scores here. Since we kind of already gave our final thoughts, Devin, what would you give Jackass Forever?
I would go with like a solid 80. Like it just got the job done. Like
Yeah.
you just go in for an hour and a half. Well, I guess 2 hours because of AMC, but you go in and you just have a laugh, and the whole theater was laughing. It wasn't just a few people here and there. Like it was just a communal comedy experience that we don't have very often anymore, because I feel like pure comedies just don't come out much anymore.
No, I think you're absolutely right. There has been a big hole in the comedic genre. I mean, like there are, you know, I mean, animated movies can easily be pawned off as like comedies like Mitchell's versus the Machines, you know, or like Free Guy, or I mean, even the Suicide Squad, you know, people peg that as a comedy as well. Like it definitely has comedic beats. I feel like superhero movies, when it comes to comedies, are more, it's a different blend. But I don't think we've really seen, like, I mean, I think the last like just pure comedy movie I've seen, I never saw Barb and Star Go to Del Mar, but I hear that's pretty funny. It would without like any serious beats, just like a pure comedy through and through. Maybe when we reviewed The Binge on Hulu, that was pretty funny. Or I mean, Booksmart had some pretty serious sounds. I don't know. It's been a while, so we just had just a pure, just like a straight up genre. Like this is comedy, nothing else. You know.
I also think we should celebrate that this took over as number one, and that Moonfall is continuing to crater.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Suck it, Roland.
I mean, it was some good stuff, man. I mean, even with I think the numbers are Jackass for this is from Gitesh Panda. Jackass Forever takes over number one spot at the box office this weekend. Sold around 23.5 million its debut, and
the budget's only 10 million, so
yeah,
like, this thing makes money.
All 5 Jackass movies have opened at the number one across the past 20 years. So the brand is still strong. Moonfall, yeah, I was like, well, it was going to be either this or Moonfall. I was like, well, I feel like we're going to have a better time with Jackass Forever. It's, you know, just old men, you know, they're clearly past their 30s, but they're still in their midlife crisis, essentially. So that's like the best way I can personally describe it. Just a bunch of old dudes, you know, in their 50s, you know, they have kids, they have families, and they're still just doing the same old thing. The boys are back, and unfortunately will not be back after this, but job well done, everyone there. So So that pretty much that concludes our episode here of Jackass Forever. Again, if you haven't seen the movie, definitely check it out. It's a great time for everyone, no matter how old you are. It will bring out the teenager in you and just like, oh my gosh, this is just so funny. But what's coming up on the podcast, you might ask? We've got a lot of craziness. We're gearing up for March, another crazy month of March, another crazy year of films, with March around the corner. But we got to get through February 1st. So coming up on the show, we're going to be covering a few things here. We have our Uncharted review. I believe that's going to be dropping on February 14th, aka Valentine's Day. So that'll be a nice little treat for all the listeners out there. And we're going to be continuing our Hunger Games, our franchise revisited series of the Hunger Games Catching Fire. That is going to debut on February 16th. And I'm also planning on doing a Raised by Wolves Season 2 overview of the first 6 episodes. Haven't decided yet if it's just going to be a solo episode or Leo from Geekly Goods maybe joining me. Definitely keep a lookout for that on our Twitter page for sure, just to kind of get a feel of what's going on. So as of right now, oh no, we also have not the Mandalorian. Oh, is that a Kent State shirt there, Devin? You going back for grad school?
My sister got it for me for Christmas. I guess I'll throw it
on. I mean, you can say you're going back for grad school. It's cool. I mean, I know you like the campus.
but I can read and can write, so I'm not allowed there.
I was so embarrassed when there was like this huge banner on one of our football fields and someone misspelled university.
Of course.
I was like, this is like, it was crazy. But almost forgot to mention in between, actually, no, this week.
Yeah, Boba time. Boba finale.
Yeah, sorry about that, mate. Yeah, this week, we got the Book of Boba finale, Mandalorian finale. See, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. But so we're definitely going to be covering just the entirety of season 1 of Book of Boba Fett. Hopefully there won't be a season 2, but very interested to see how that all turns out. That's going to be dropping on Wednesday. That is February 9th, I believe. February 9th. We're going to be doing a review of that. And so we have, Jackass Forever. Obviously, you're already listening to that. We have our Mandalorian season, not Mandalorian. I did it again. Book of Boba Fett. Sorry. Book of Boba Fett season 1, and then Raised by Wolves overview that will be dropping this week, hopefully. So just keep a lookout for that. Again, just follow us on Twitter to keep up with all those updates. And yeah, that pretty much does it. So let's pretty much get on out of here. Also, really quick, make sure to sign up for our Discord. The link should be in the episode notes below. And share, always share this episode with a friend, a mother, a brother, a lover, whoever it may be. Share this episode with one of your lovely significant others. We might be doing a giveaway here pretty soon within the next coming months, but definitely stay tuned. Again, all of our updates are going to be on Twitter. So, and that's a wrap for today. Thank you all for listening. And if you enjoy the show, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and follow us on Twitter to stay in the know. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we'll see you guys in the next one.